George Kilpatrick, inspiration for the nation, celebrating people we feel good about. It's time to check your money with America's money maven, Vicki Brackens. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corp., member SIPC. Hey, Vicki.
Well, hi there, George.
How's it going?
It's a good week this week, George.
It's a great week. Good morning to you.
Thanks a lot. Listen, before we get started, I want to remind everyone of a couple of things. Like today, to remind everyone that today is our 10th annual Black History Month Cabaret with the Central New York Jazz and Arts Foundation. Brackens Financial Solutions Network has been sponsoring this for quite some time, as you know.
Yes.
And at 4 o'clock today at the Marriott downtown, I invite everyone to come on out to hear Eric, Darius, and Tracy Hamlin. I also wanted to...
What time are we going to do that today?
4 o'clock, George.
Thank you very much.
Okay, 4 o'clock. Also, I want to take a moment here to thank our supporters like Power 620 and Inspiration for the Nation.
Yes.
Wegmans, National Grid, Pathfinder Bank, Visions Federal Credit Union, Cornell University, Clark Capital Management, AssetMark Wealth Management, and Rockdale Investments for coming together with us this year to make sure that we have a splendid time. Well, George, this week I thought I'd do something a little different.
Talk to me.
Okay, so I just want to talk to you, okay?
All right, talk to me.
We're coming to the end of Black History Month.
Mm-hmm.
This week's Black History Month Money Moment is a look at what Black History Month has been historically. As it was also known as African American History Month in the U.S., it's also celebrated in Canada. Don't know if you knew that. In the United Kingdom and the Netherlands, where it's known as, in some cases, Black Achievement Month.
And do they do it this month during February?
No, not in all places.
Okay.
In some places it's February, in other places it's October. In fact, in the United Kingdom and the Netherlands, it's actually in October. The precursor to Black History Month was created in 1926. That's how long we've been celebrating this great month, when historian Carter G. Woodson and the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History announced the second week of February as Negro History Month. This week was chosen because of the coincidence of Abraham Lincoln's birthday in February and also Frederick Douglass. And it was a community celebration that's actually been celebrated since the 19th century. Well, in 1975, President Gerald Ford issued a message of observation of Black History Week, and then in 1986, Congress passed a public law. It was law number 99-244. You're going to remember that, right?
Yes, I am.
99-244, designating February as National Black or African American History Month. So proclamations and resolutions have been commemorated by presidents ever since that date. Now,
I got a little bit of history for you, though.
Okay, let me hear
How about this? So the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History, founded by Carter G. Woodson, now they've updated to become the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. This year's theme is a salute to Black veterans and military.
Wonderful.
Just wanted to give you that.
Okay, thanks, George. Okay, all right. So listen, I mean, as you know, many times Dr. Martin Luther King has been a central theme of the celebration of this month. And most often we were celebrating around his stand for civil rights and social justice. But what's overlooked was his role in challenging and investigating economic justice.
Yeah.
And since we are all about money,
come on,
I thought it would make sense for us to actually look at one of the demands that was part of the March on Washington, which was the demands number 7 and 8, which were actually about the economic demands and injustice. And I'm going to read to you what number 7 was as far as the demands that were part of the platform that day. They were asking for a massive federal program to train and place all unemployed workers, both Negro and white, on meaningful and dignified jobs at decent wages. Sounds so familiar.
Doesn't it?
Number 8 also was the fact that there was a need for, and they believed that there was a need for a national minimum wage that would give all Americans a decent standard of living. Listen to this. Government surveys were showing at the time that anything less than $2 an hour fails to do this. Now you're thinking $2 an hour. Well, how many years ago was that? And if you recall, we went through an exercise which was called the power of the rule of 72, which tells you how long it takes for something to double. So if you go back and look at, I want you to do this math problem. I'm not going to give you the answer to this. Go back and think about what year was that? At that point in time, the minimum wage that was being fought for was at least $2 an hour. We are some plus X number of years since. Figure out what the rate of return has been from that date, which is $2 an hour, to our current rate, which is what, $10.40, going up to $15 an hour as far as the minimum wage. What was the rate of return? And I think we would be surprised by the ending numbers inflationary rate and how we have possibly not kept up with the need for a standard of living around our minimum wage. But in the spirit of this collective cross-cultural and inclusive economic action, I also want to focus on a second economic champion today, and that is Cesar Chavez, who was known as Cesar Estrada Chavez. He was an American labor leader and civil rights activist who, along with Dolores Huerta, co-founded the National Farm Workers Association, which was later known as the UFW, and that was back in 1962. Well, by the late 70s, his tactics had forced agricultural growers to recognize the UFW as the bargaining agent for over 50,000 field workers in California and Florida. Now, I was in college then.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And do you remember, I don't know if you remember, but we actually had the lettuce boycotts, where all college students stopped eating lettuce in solidarity with the agricultural workers because we understood the collective power of a movement and how we could change an economic stance at that point in time.
Go ahead and teach.
Okay, so his public relations approach, and this was really about public relations and unionism, and his aggressiveness but non-violent tactics made the farm workers' struggle a moral cause with nationwide support. Listen to this, though. He is also famous for popularizing the slogan, "Si se puede," which basically means, yes, one can, or yes, we can, which was adopted as the 2008 campaign slogan for Barack Obama.
Yes.
Over and over, and I hope this message continues to resonate with everyone. I keep saying to you, George, everything is connected. So for more information, I invite everyone to go to brackensfsn.com. And guess what? Next week we have a surprise.
Yes, we do.
Next week you're finally unveiling the theme song that we've chosen for the Money Moment segment.
Yes.
And if you have thoughts and questions, I'm asking the audience, if you have thoughts and questions
that they want answered,
that you want answers to, please email George, because we'd love to hear. I would love to hear from you so that we can make sure that we're addressing the issues that are important to you. So for now, George, I'll say our plate is full.
You can email me at george@georgekilpatrick.com, or you can also ask your question in social media on Facebook as well. Vicki Brackens.
Thanks, George.
Thank you for that history lesson. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corp., member SIPC. We'll see you later tonight at the Hotel Syracuse Marriott.